We have seen a lot of updates come to Rust recently, but I think in February, this will probably be one of the biggest updates we have seen come in a while. Because we're going to be getting a lot of new items that will improve the efficiency of our bases on how they operate and much more. Okay, so they added new items to Rust. They got the pipe tool, the storage adapter, the industrial conveyor, the industrial combiner, the industrial crafter, the electric furnace, and the industrial splitter. Okay, we're gonna start off first and foremost with the industrial conveyor. All it does is it takes items out of a box and puts it into another box. It could be a storage container, it could be a furnace, it could be a large furnace, it could be a vending machine. It does not matter, it'll transfer those items. But in order to do that, you need to put a storage adapter on those items. It does not require electricity, but the industrial conveyor does require one rust watt to run. So for instance, if you got a full box of AKs, you want to transfer it instantly. Once you send power to the industrial conveyor, every item is instantly transferred into the next box. The only thing, the industrial conveyors, is they don't transfer all the items instantly. So if you have a stack of 1,000 wood, it's only going to transfer 32 every 3 seconds. But if you spread out the items, it'll start transferring every single stack that you spread out at 32 per 3 seconds. Boom, just like that. That is how the industrial conveyor works. All it does is transport items from point A to point B. So now we have an industrial furnace. This thing only requires 1 rust watt, subject to change, but this whole system right here only requires 11 watts of electricity, all being powered by a solar panel. Now, why is this huge? Is because these never shut off. They run 24 hours a day. Now, what do? Well, it's simple. You put metal ore, you put high quality ore, or you put sulfur ore in here and it'll automatically smelt it, just like a furnace at the same speed of a furnace, but it does not require wood. And combined with the industrial conveyor, the storage adapter, and the new industrial splitter, you can actually have one single box that puts out to the industrial splitter, which the conveyors then push these items into the furnaces automatically. So let's say you went out mining, you got a bunch of you got a bunch of metal ore and you got sulfur ore. We can just toss it right in there and the conveyors will automatically pull it out and fill the furnaces up, and it'll automatically melting it for you. Now we also have a combiner. Then we'll combine all 3 of these furnaces outputs together, and the conveyor programmed to only withdraw metal frags and sulfur from the furnaces. So essentially you can go out on a farm run, farm yourself 10,000 metal ore, toss it in this box, come back 3 hours later, and you'll have a box full of metal frags. How are you going to build a base big enough for all this? Well, surprisingly, it all fits in a 1x, and you can even seal this thing up and pipe items to and from a separate base to this thing, which we'll get to in a sec. Now, the only drawback to this whole system is, granted, you can power the whole thing with 1 solar panel 24 hours a day, but 3 of these furnaces only match half the speed of a large furnace. So you might be like, well, no, you just can't beat the large furnace, which I agree to you can. It also gives you charcoal. In order to make gunpowder, you need charcoal and sulfur. So what if these buildings, which they might look familiar to you, it's actually an external furnace base? Now you might be wondering, well, it doesn't have a door. How do you get in there? There is no door on this base, and that's because it's actually a suicide furnace base. Reason being is you never have to enter it, okay? Hear me through. This is awesome, right? So you got your main 1x2, right? Hey, what if I told you that large furnace that's sitting over in that base that you're afraid to walk out to because you know there's a door camper out here waiting to steal all of your resources the second you walk out there? What if you didn't have to? What if you could just toss all the wood, all the metal, everything in this box, and it just gets transferred up to that furnace? And you might be wondering, well, how do you start it? Well, you just simply put an igniter out there with a button inside your base, and you're cooking. It gets transferred right back into this exact same box, making it so you never have to leave your base. And this ultimately becomes a suicide furnace base. The only way to raid it is through the walls itself. Maybe we're one of those guys just like, I don't like my furnace base being right outside my base, right? What if instead you like your furnace base being 200, 300 meters away from your base? Well, then you're in luck, because you can actually pipe the items 300 meters across the map through external TCs and do the exact same thing. I don't run those furnace bases because every time you go out, you always get grubbed because there's either somebody watching you, so when they see the furnace running, they'll instantly find the front door, and then they'll just sit out by the front door and wait for you to come out to collect the stuff or something. You just build a bunch of external furnaces like that, and you just put the resources you want in there. You hit start up the furnace. You don't have to open your doors. Start up the furnace, and boom, that sucker's cooking away. But there's more. So we haven't even hit the big stuff yet. Now let's talk about another item. the industrial crafter. Okay, so what does the industrial crafter do? So you slap it on a workbench, you power it with 1 rust watt, you have an inlet from the conveyor, pushes items into it, and then you have an outlet from the conveyor that pulls items out of it. Let's say, for instance, we want to craft some explosive blueprints, because who doesn't want some explosives? All you gotta do is get yourself an explosive blueprint, put it in there, and you can just put it right there in the blueprints section. And let's see, so in order to craft an explosive, we need 50 gunpowder, 3 low grade, and 10 sulfur with 10 metal frags. So we just make sure this is in the box. Check, check, check. And all you do is you set this to put exactly that amount into the industrial crafter. So even though you can't see the industrial crafter because this whole thing is bugged out right now, it's there. And as you can see, it's literally pulling those exact items out of that main crate, and it's creating explosives. So once these items are crafted, they don't automatically come out of the industrial crafter. You actually have to tell a conveyor to pull those items out. So I have the conveyor pulling out explosives out of this and then straight back into this box. Now there's none in the box, and that's because I've got this one automatically taking those explosives and crafting them into rockets. So you literally can just walk up to a box, throw all the ingredients you need to make rockets in there, pipes, metal frags, fuel, gunpowder, sulfur, and it just will literally just spit out rockets for you. So you can do this as many times as you want. So you can take one box and put it through about 10 steps of an assembly line and put those items back into the box for it to be picked up by another conveyor to create another item farther down the assembly, all from one little box. Now let's say you like things that take a long time to craft. Maybe spike traps. Those are a pain in the butt to craft. As you can see in the top right, they take 30 seconds to craft. Nobody wants to sit in front of a workbench for 30 seconds or for a minute just to craft 2 floor spikes. Or maybe you're a Nardo and you like to craft watchtowers for whatever means possible. Again, 30 seconds. Nobody wants to wait that long. So what if you just created the world's biggest assembly line, where all you had to do is just flick one little switch? So we got boxes full of wood, we got conveyors pulling the wood out of the boxes, pushing them into the industrial crafters. Industrial crafters are just sitting here automatically crafting 2 watchtowers every single minute. I think right now we have 11 or 12 of these crafting. So we're pretty much crafting 22 watchtowers a minute. And we can go do whatever we want. We can leave the base and go put these watchtowers down. And by the time you get done putting those watchtowers down, you come back, you got 22 more. So they have a really weird hitbox, so it makes it almost impossible for roof camper to roof camp. It's like griefing them. The problem is they take forever to craft. Look at this. Look how many I already crafted just while sitting here talking. I've already got so many of them. All right, I just set them all down. Let's go see how many I just crafted. Look at this. Listen, Nardo's fixing to be in heaven. Look at, I got the exact same amount back already. But let me tell you something. What if I told you there's more? This is nothing. Nobody likes to craft gear sets. You just go up to your box at the front door and you just take your gear set out, right? Pretty cool. Got a gear set. Got me a Thompson, whole gear set. I'm ready to go PvP. And then what if you look back in that same box and there was another gear set? What if every time you pulled out a gear set out of this box, it automatically created a new one and put it right back in there, all from being crafted from your storage box? But how cool is that? Literally, you just put all of your supplies in a box and then boom, instant kits, as many as you want. PvP all day. But there's more. This is one that a lot of people will probably be using. Okay, so you got your base, you got a good bit of stuff, and you just came back from an insane run, right? An insane run. You just took out like a 50-man Zerg. You walked away with all their AKs. You're loaded, but you know what? Mom said it's time for bed. So you gotta go to bed, right? So you gotta go ahead and close down the shop. But you know you just made enemies with a Zerg, and they're gonna be looking for you. Okay, this is probably a bad representation, because if this was a Zerg, there wouldn't even be a foundation here left in the morning. But let's just say you pissed off a bunch of groups, all right? You got to lock down for the night. And let's say that group that you just happened to piss off, well, they just showed up with 1,000 rockets and a rocket launcher. Well, that's also a bad representation. Okay, they showed up with about 6 rockets because they're ready to take all your stuff, but you're offline. You don't even know they're about to raid you. So they're just going to go straight in. They ain't waiting for you to get back online. This AK is going to be mine. I can smell them already. Oh, we're in. We even blast the front. Oh, we're in. Oh, there's garage doors. Okay, now we gotta take out the garage doors. We'll just hit it right in between. We'll take out both the garage doors at the same time. They'll never see it coming. We can get both the loot rooms. Easiest raid ever. Oh, we're deep. We're deep. We're deep. Where's that box of AKs? Wait. Wait, where's all the loot? And that's when you spawn in the next morning, you realize you were killed in a raid. All your stuff was gone. And you had a bag. Bag inside your suicide bunker that automatically transported all the items once the heartbeat sensor on the other side of the wall detected an enemy inside your base. So while they tried to come in here and raid your base, while they were taking 3 rockets to go through the garage door, that heartbeat sensor triggered all of this inside this room, telling these boxes to empty out into these boxes. But there's more. I saved the biggest one for last. I introduce you to the biggest Rust automated storage vault ever to be seen in Rust. There are 33 boxes on every single floor. Every single box can hold 48 slots of items. There are 16 floors. That means there are 25,344 storage slots in this array. Now, what does that mean? Okay, well, obviously you can't access half these boxes, right? You can't access these boxes. There's some tucked away on the back. But here's the coolest thing. With the use of all of these conveyors and combiners and splitters, you can actually have one single box where you just drop all your items. Look at that. They disappear. Where did they go? Well, they happen to find a slot within this archive of boxes. Now, how do you get these? You can't even get the boxes. Well, that's all you gotta do. Walk up to your little module right here. Let's say we want to get some rockets out of here, right? How many do we want? Let's get 6 rockets. We'll go ahead and add that. I need my AK, right? Gotta have the AK. We'll toss one of those in there. Gotta have a rocket launcher, right? Can't shoot rockets without a rocket launcher. We'll go ahead and add the rocket launcher. Now, I mean, who wants to search through 25,000 slots to find a rocket launcher? And I don't know why. Maybe some med kits. I need 4 of them. All right, turn that puppy on. There's my meds. There's my rockets. There's more rockets. There's the rest of my meds. There's my AK. There's my rocket launcher. Let's go. Okay, realistically, this is probably a very, very absurd, over-exaggerated way to portray this. But if you just did one single floor like this alone in here is like 1,500 storage slots. This in here is 1,500. If you put this underneath your base that you built, so you build a 3x3, make this your subfloor. Put this under your floor. Have one box to depot the things and one box to pull the things out. And you have access to all of this without even having to have any boxes in your base. But this is just a small glimpse of the industrial update before it comes out. But when it does come out, make sure to subscribe if you want to have a ton of guides on how to build all of these things and different things you can build with the use of the industrial update. But until next time, I'll catch y'all in the next video.